The Prime Minister's demonetization drive continues to generate, in fact, heated political statements. And breaking news coming in, the AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi has now attacked the Modi government, saying that cash has not been deployed in the minority areas purposely, and that areas where minorities are in large numbers have been categorized as red. This is, of course, a very controversial statement. Let's first listen in to what Asaduddin Owaisi had to say.
हमारे मुस्लिम इलाकों में बैंक नहीं खोलते, बैंक खोलते तो रेड जोन करार देते, लोन नहीं मिलता। एटीएम लगाते तो एटीएम में पैसा नहीं आ रहा हमारे इलाकों में। नए नए इलाकों में एटीएम में पैसा आता है, हमारे पास पैसा नहीं आता।
Remember, this is the holy occasion of Eid al-Miladun Nabi, and Asaduddin Owaisi was speaking on the occasion. In his address, he made those controversial remarks. Let me get in a word from my colleague Padmaja Joshi. Padmaja, if you've managed to listen to, in fact, broader elements of this speech, would you say that he was able to back up his statement with some sort of evidence or facts, or was it just a generic political statement being made by Owaisi?
Well, in fact, that is the disturbing part, Smita, because listening to that entire statement, there was no evidence offered by Mr. Owaisi at all. The very broad stroke comment he made about how नए इलाकों में पैसा आता है, implying that there are other areas which seem to be flush with funds, but it was only certain areas which were identified and deprived of funds. There was absolutely no evidence, any observation of his that he could point to back up what he said. And this is a known fact that there are ATMs across the country, irrespective of which area they're located in, Smita, where you would have noticed people face difficulties. Almost 50%, 60% of the ATMs at any given point of time have difficulty getting cash. And at a time like this, for Mr. Owaisi to allege some kind of communal spin to how money is distributed is indeed strange.
Padmaja, do we know as to where Mr. Owaisi was speaking? Because in the run-up to the Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections, of course, a lot of controversial statements being made by leaders, but this one in particular will not go down well with the government especially.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, he was making a public address, and this speech, in fact, was uploaded by Mr. Owaisi himself, by his party itself, where he made it in Hyderabad, where not only did he speak about how these ATMs in specific areas are not provided any cash, but he also said that this entire cashless economy that the Prime Minister is speaking about, he used some very strong words, and he implied that people are being deprived of their own money. And when the Prime Minister speaks about cashless economy, he said, I challenge you to find out how many Muslims have credit cards. And again, offhand, he said that not more than 1 or 2% would even have access to plastic money. So it is through these means that the common man was being deprived of his money. And he completely out of hand said that this is not a scheme which can be foisted on people or that it will ever be successful.
Right. Serious allegations being leveled there by, in fact, the All India Ittihad Muslimin AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi in Hyderabad. But even as we talk about this, there's more breaking news coming in. The government has now hit back at Asaduddin Owaisi as well. Government has said that it is wrong to allege that Muslims are being discriminated. And in fact, certain senior faces and ministers have added that ATMs do not see religion before dispensing money. Let's try and listen in to voices of Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi as well as the Minister of State for Home Kiran Rijiju, who have just spoken out against Owaisi's statements.
Asaduddin Owaisi is a member of parliament. He says that minorities are being specifically targeted. ATMs are not being replenished in minority dominated areas.
No, I don't appreciate these comments. When government talks about reaching out to the people, it cannot be seen from the prism of communal lines, because the ATM will not determine who will come and draw money from that ATM, or a bank will not determine which community to come and take benefit and services and all. So it is not good to say that minority dominated areas are being neglected and all. This is totally undesirable and unwanted kind of allegation, which is not true at all.
लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि ये जो काले धन और भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जंग छेड़ी है, उसका पहले तो सियासीकरण हुआ, अब सांप्रदायिकरण हो रहा है। हमें लगता है कि ये जो सांप्रदायिकीकरण कर रहे हैं या सियासीकरण हो रहा है उससे किसी को कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है, क्योंकि जो काले धन और भ्रष्टाचार के ख़िलाफ़ जो ये मिशन है, ये मिशन जो है वो किसी भी सियासी टशन से कमज़ोर नहीं होने वाला है।
Okay, let me in fact try and connect to Govt Sawant, who was just speaking to Kiran Rijiju. You also heard Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, the minority face of the BJP, in fact is saying that parties are trying to criminalize this issue, the opposition parties. Gaurav, you asked Kiran Rijiju that question and he said the ATMs do not know religion of people. What Asaduddin Owaisi is alleging in his statement is that A, there are fewer ATMs in areas where there is minority population, and B, that the ATMs do not carry cash.
ATMs not carrying cash is a problem virtually all over the country today. Whether we look at an upscale area like Connaught Place, where we were earlier this afternoon, there were long queues and most of the ATMs were shut. Or our neighborhood in Noida, in the suburbs of Delhi, again no cash in most ATMs. Or you go anywhere across the length and breadth of this country, 3 days bank holiday, ATMs are hardly being replenished. That's one part of the problem. The second part, and we were speaking to officials in the Ministry of Finance and in the Reserve Bank of India, they say they don't target areas that, you have Muslims living here, so there won't be banks, or you have Christians living here, there won't be banks. That's not the way banks are located. Banks are located, or ATMs are located in areas where they are most required and can, and can work profitably. So they know there is absolutely no discrimination in either locating banks or replenishing ATMs. It's only where banks will make profit will banks be located, is what officials in the RBI told India today. And you heard Kiran Rijiju there saying, ATMs don't look at religion before dishing out money.
Gaurav, in fact, do stay with us, because when you spoke to Kiran Rijiju, we believe that there was more, in fact, news breaks in that interview. The government has now issued a firm warning to those sabotaging the operations in the cash cleanup drive. In that exclusive interview to India Today, Kiran Rijiju has issued a stern warning to bankers, saying that the government is watching every step, the government is tracking the movement of funds, and the guilty will face action. First, let's listen into Rijiju before I go back to Govt Sawant for more.
There are moles in the system. I mean, somebody's making the system fail. If I go to the bank, I have to stand in a queue for many hours and I don't get 24,000 rupees a week. Sometimes I get 2,000, 4,000 or 6,000. But there are these elements who have in Chennai 10 crore rupees, in Karnataka 6 crore rupees, in Mumbai 3 crore rupees, in Delhi 2.3 crore rupees. How is this happening? This is somebody who is playing illegal and the government doesn't appear to be acting against them.
Government is acting and government will act more. As I said, there are some elements in the society who will always try to jeopardize any good effort. The good people are giving all kind of supports, whatever is required for the process and this whole campaign to be successful. But there are elements in the society who always work against the interests of the society, work against the system. They have to realize that this government will not remain idle. Anybody who has played with the system, anybody has taken advantage out of the whole process, will have to face the law, and there will be severe crackdown later on. And now also, please don't mistake that we are targeting the whole banking officials and all. But there are elements who are trying to derail the whole process by taking away a huge chunk of the new currency notes which were meant to be supplied to all nook and corners of the country, to reach out to all the ATMs. The officials, those who have been given these responsibilities, must carry forward honestly.
Is this true that there is a sting operation that the government ordered? Prime Minister ordered a sting operation on these corrupt elements in banks, and action will be taken against them?
No, I will not comment on the sting operation. What I want to say is that those who have flouted the rules will have to face the law.
Okay, let me in fact go back to Govt Sawant, who continues to be with us. Gaurav, of course, Kiran Rijiju is always a very calm minister when you talk to him. But does the government look confident that they will be able, the crores of rupees, the question that you put, the crores of rupees that are being discovered in these IT raids of the new notes, how confident they are really of being able to deal with this situation?
You know, anger on the streets is rising because, Smita, you and I would stand in a queue for long hours and we wouldn't get 24,000 rupees a week that we are entitled to, and you have 10 crores in Chennai, 6 crore in Bangalore, 2 crores in Maharashtra, 2.6 crore in Delhi, and lots more that's emerging. And let me put that question to Devina Gupta, who covers the Ministry of Finance, and she joins us on the broadcast, Smita. Devina, how is it that we don't have the money, but these elements get this kind of money? Where is the chink in the armor?
Well, Gaurav, let me tell you first that it's about 160 crore that they've been able to find in the new currency, which means that it's been in the system for a long time since the demonetization has been announced, and it's a bulk exchange, and that's what we need to remember. It's not withdrawal from over the counter. It's not even the withdrawal limit of the current account that you have, about 50,000 rupees. It's a bulk exchange which is happening, which cannot happen without the consensus or without your bank employees being in the loop. And that's when you have also had a word with MOS Home, who said that there are evidence available with them. They will be looking at where the transaction is happening, because these are the new notes which are traceable with their serial number, as we've been talking about from Friday as well, since we've been tracking the story. So you have a mechanism that's been followed, and there will be an intense crackdown on this, but how much of it will also translate into a warning which goes ahead so that these kind of malpractices stop remains to be seen.
Okay, so 19 bankers, we are told, are under the scanner. 10 banks, 50 branches. What sources are also telling us at this point of time, Smita, is the fact that there were sting operations that have been carried out on banks. So just now those people are not being arrested because you don't want the system to go out of gear. The moment the situation eases out a bit, there will be stern action, because as Devina was pointing out, Smita, these banknotes are numbered. They went to a certain branch, and that from that branch, bulk of this money went illegally to these hawala operators and dealers. They will be arrested, the bankers will be arrested, and the government has a plan in place. We are privy to some details of those plans. There's much more that's going to happen over the next 24 to 48 hours. We will tell our viewers lots more.
Okay, Gaurav. So clearly, of course, the government, they're claiming that they have a hawkish view. In fact, they have a sharp view of whatever is happening. It's not like things are going unnoticed, and the government will be acting against the culprits. But we can only hope that in the 50 days time period that Narendra Modi has promised, some normalcy in a way will be restored. Gaurav Sawant there and Devina Gupta, many thanks for joining us.